What's up, guys? I got 20 minutes with you. I just wanted to say a little recap about this chapter of my life. I came here in January. I'm pretty sure. No. I left northern Vermont in December. And I made it just about to this small, tiny gas station. Maybe an hour and a half south of Burlington, Vermont. I broke down in a small town right outside a gas station. Someone just pulled up, stared at me. Didn't offer any help. They left. Then two gay men that manage a gas station pushed my car into the parking lot. Then here's my black eagle, look. Hey. Bless me, great eagle. One of the trucks I felt was one of my gang stalkers, because I cataloged them. One of them's here. For whatever reason, one of them is here. Well, we know why. It's to build it's to try to connect me, to siphon off what comes down and around, right? I had a point. I was trying to make beautiful content for you, and the eagle helped, and the bird is here. So on one hand, I've gotten stronger. On one hand, I've mastered the earth sign, I think. Even if I don't feel like it, these tarot readings I keep getting are letting me know that you've mastered the earth sign. Yeah, I broke down in a small town in Capricorn season into Aquarius, and I was trapped looking for help. So my car broke down. I was waiting in the freezing cold. This is a common occurrence in my life. It's my favorite part, I think, is fighting. It's kind of like the last Viking, fighting by myself against everything, including nature. And I mostly get overwhelmed and scream, but in between when I'm screaming on here, just imagine me fighting crackheads violently with spears. Where's my spear? This is my walking stick because I have ADHD. So when I focus on the ground, it helps me channel everything into the decision of moving forward, which I'm learning a lot. Hold up. I know this ain't entertaining, but this we'll use this as a catalog. So I'm at the Pittsford gas station. I'm making a show called Wildfire about a kid named Connor that meets me as a legendary king after the battle because he was running away from his parents through the woods, and he met this deer man, this creepy deer monster, the Wendigo Cernunnos. He sees it like comes at him, which is something that happened in my life in the past in 2020. I saw the deer man, and then I saw him in 2022, and then I saw a deer in 2024. So I have that scene in the animation, and then the kid gets sucked through a portal because the Viking jump, boom, 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 and the fire opens up a portal and it sucks him in, and then he's in my world now after running away from his abusive stepfather or abusive father and his mother into the woods. And then he goes through this pathway, this trail, and every time he tries, there's a fork in the trail in this sealed garden dome with like this shimmering dome thing, and there's screams of monsters faintly in the background and different elements like fire bursting, and it's a garden, but it's got these weird elemental outbursts of screams and rocks and fire. And then eventually, every time he tries to take the wrong turn, a group of little birds will go, and it will block the way, like fly in front of his face, left to right. So he has to go this way, and then eventually he walks up these steps, and there's a clearing in the woods, and it's a castle keep that's been run down and abandoned, and I'm sitting on the steps, blowing smoke from a cigarette, and then shooting a little fireball at the leaf, and the leaf comes down and forms into a perfect heart. And I've got the beard. I'm older because it's after the battle, after the Great War, when I've settled and I've got my family. But I'm just alone in this. So he meets me alone, and I'm confused. No one should be able to get in or out. So I'm like, what are you doing here? Because it's a child. And I'm excited to see another person. So I talk to him, and he tells me about what happened and where he came from, and I ask him some inquisitive things to prod his wisdom and see who he is. And his name's Connor. So as I'm writing this story, back in November and December, when I got my car stuck in the mud in a field before winter. So I spent the first quarter of winter in a car fighting off a schizophrenic Viking whose Viking ancestry said I was an Irish king, and he had to stop me. So because I'm like, okay, he's schizophrenic. So I put my my gray throw blanket on, and my crown hat, and I stomped into the gas station that he lives behind because the manager saw him as a child and was taking care of him. And this guy was threatening to kill me with a hatchet and hacking down trees in front of my car and shooting a .22 at me. And he's 30 years old. So I went in to talk to the manager in the full king getup, like a war of homeless schizophrenics that think that our ancestry matters more. And it turns out it does, and we're in a dream world, and the whole thing is collaboration with God, and I'm so happy to be here. But so I made him pour me gas into my thing so I could go heat myself up, and I spent months ruminating about how to kill him and how to beat him and how to get over on him what he did to me, the disrespect and the energy battles. So I learned that he was a Leo. Then I broke down in Pittsford, got a job in Killington. I had to get rides from actual pedophiles that were trying me. They brought me to court. The court, now that I know about how people do rituals to steal energy and invalidate feelings, it's everywhere. So the court was doing it, these gay men were doing it, these racist people I met, and I would find needles in the haystack of good men, like good, strong men that don't do that and don't like that. And it's usually people that have brain injuries. The people that don't engage in the white get out culture where they're trying to steal your soul and spirit are usually men with severe brain injuries and trauma that had to overcome it, and then that's how they realized how sick the world was. Isn't it cool the Black Eagle showed up? And I'm making an album called Black Eagle, and I found Black Eagle brand gloves after I decided. But yeah. So when I'm at this, before the Killington, when I'm just outside this gas station in Pittsford, And I'm seeing all the different townspeople come in, and I'm just sitting in the back watching. Still out of my mind, still feeling like I'm spiritually raped. You heard? It's like a daily occurrence where I feel like I cultivate all this power, and then it's me trying to figure out how to organize it right so that I can hold it in place, so that when people come in, I have a strong enough boundary that they can't just take it. I know how to keep it all attached. And then I have to feel it getting ripped out of me. But I guess maybe I was such a strong Sagittarius that everything I said with that density of the O'Brien family, every girlfriend I had maybe felt that way. Like their energy and love were being ripped out by narcissist Casey pre-trauma. I've been traumatized my whole life, but it was just one excursion of my branch when I grew out viciously to try to reach my goals. You feel me? So I'm learning about different signs in astrology, and it's this very vivid and intense battles I hope to catalog one day sitting on a sailboat, or when I'm on top of the mountain in my little pond with my dogs at a lake somewhere, floating with a pretty girl, or wherever I end up. Oh, but the thing is that people with the same name, so like I got the last place I got stuck, like I've been stuck and ruminating to get out for my entire life. And one of these people's name was Kadia, and he went by Cat. So then 6 months later, there's a cat that's next to Casey Road. When I broke down on Casey Road, and it's a big green and white mansion, and then next to it is a small red one with a mountain behind it, and the green and white one has a view kind of like this of like hundreds of miles of Vermont mountains. And I got my car stuck and lost my car bumper on it. So I don't know if I'm in purgatory or not, but that cat turned out to be a demon, and they do the thing that the kids are doing now where they put all the attention on their hand, and they just put they have like a dark demonic hand that sucks all the energy out. So she did that, and that was my first instance of realizing that that's why they do that. I noticed that the high schoolers here do it too. The further you go into the small town Vermont, it's just a skill that they naturally have developed that we didn't have because we were free creatives. And we got over on each other with real competence, like sports and excelling in music and being the funniest guy in the room. You know, creative excursion instead of just demonic possession or control and stealing spiritual wealth. We just loved each other naturally, and we got over each other by actually excelling in life. And that's why they call this degenerate culture. But Rant Casey's back, everybody. It's been a while, right? So I'm here. Oh, the thing was, a kid named Connor came up to me and offered to give me a ride to Killington. The same exact way that I wrote it in the scene happened in real life. And I have tarot readings all the time where they go, "Are you sure you're not dreaming?" And then I wake up to like, whoa, what if this is a dream and it was a prank? And then I remember all the times that I had woken up in the past, and then how the sequence went before. And then I remember that I had a teacher named Martin Cabello that his brother Josh had figured it out, and then he ended up killing himself and his 2 kids, and then Martin Cabello was systematically tortured and traumatized for years, and the only way he beat it was by becoming a famous content creator so that he could teach the world what they do as they do it. And then I remembered all the gang stalking videos that I saw that hit my subconscious. And all these things happen in a wave when I wake up and realize what the reality of life is. And then all of a sudden even though it's empty and there's nobody here, all of a sudden there's a little gang stalker over there that's staring at me like viciously. And I've seen the truck a bunch of times, and I always wonder, like, why do I keep seeing these trucks? Are they gang stalkers? And then I finally like break and I go to ask somebody, like I get it, I get the knowledge, I realize that everybody's in on it, and it's just me out here, me and God and my spirit guides and my ancestors, and that everybody at a level that they don't realize that they're being controlled by some type of higher intelligence, or at the very core they're all that. It turns out that's what God is, right? God is something that's living in everybody and knows more than they do, that works with them in reality. So I don't know if I'm talking to God or Siri, or if it's different forces. But I know that I get to an awareness of it because I can cultivate high amounts of information, and I can come up with conclusions that other people can't, because of my unique experience and my ability as an 1133 to take in so much of everything. And that would mean that I've probably been through the most already. And that's why every single moment of my life is extremely overwhelming. So imagine that mixed with the actual severe trauma that I've been through, but the birds don't like to talk about that. You can hear them. You can hear when I set off the birds, and then nature will respond to guide me back to what I'm supposed to do. But I'm in the Pittsford thing. Cat takes me into Rutland. My car's broken down. I'm trying to get a job. It won't work. Finally, a guy whose name means manly. I have a dream that I have a choice. I'm climbing this giant mountain to the top. And on the way, there's Andrew Tate sitting in a desert. Andrew Tate, he was the most famous man on earth in 2022. The most Googled man on earth in 2022. There's Andrew Tate, who for years before that, I have dreams I'm sitting with his father, Emery Tate, a 33 life path, and he brings in the two boys. And I'm like double the size of Emery Tate. He's a natural adult, and I'm twice his size as a giant. And I feel like I've killed 1,000 people, and I'm a trapped, caged animal that they're keeping me as a slave, and I don't know what to do. And then Emery Tate comes in, and he brings in these two little English boys. And I just sit with them, and then they, by proxy, because they see me and I see them, and we've built the relationship now, as I'm towering over them, trapped in a box in a room, and I've had to kill people for their entertainment. He gets like an emotional stimulation from me. And he learns from me. And then I open my eyes, and I'm in the back of my Dodge Magnum, scared out of my mind, feeling all the energies, feeling raped, and having to fight, and everywhere I go is just violence and the faults in the system and the world's fragile masculinity from lack of competence and actual suffering. They'll never understand what I've been through, and they're trying to be the big man. And then I come in, and it's just that big square off where they can feel my energy. I obviously don't convey it. I'm not a giant, but they feel it. So I'm trying to do my simple daily tasks that are very emotionally overwhelming for me. And I'm pushing myself like through homelessness and I'm trying to get a gym membership. And then the guy, there's just like not 30, but say 3 or 4 in my vicinity that have now closed in and targeted my energy. And I have to fight all of them back, and the woman, and I'm trying to riz the woman to teach them and also to build a positive relationship. And they're trying to hurt me. They're trying to figure shit out. They're trying to size me up. It's not working. And then they get really irrational and they just attack me out of nowhere. Like I'm talking about, it breaks their mind so completely that they'll attack me in a public space, and somehow nobody gets in trouble but me. When it's on camera, I'm just trying to get a gym membership, right? But I'll wait, and then I'll sneak in, and then I cry in the middle of winter in the Planet Fitness. And then the things that I write when I go back to sleep, and I start to daydream. Then 3 months later, exactly the way that I set up that, I'm living in the abandoned castle right